Welcome back to the end of the 11 a.m. turn of Battle of First Kernstown, Great Battles of the American Civil War. We are in fort scenario. So, a couple things I wanted to make note of before I get into the details of what happened on turn 11 is I am using a couple optional, one optional rule is the skirmisher over here. And you can see we've got skirmishers arrayed out in front of the Union troops to act as a tripwire to keep the Confederates slightly at bay. Now, we've only got cavalry in front of us now, in front of the Union now. So it's not as, the cavalry's not going to go right after the infantry. So the skirmishers are kind of just holding their line here for now with this. But we are playing with the skirmishers to kind of give a little bit of extra to it. Also, with special rules, we do have for cavalry and artillery, we've got a couple of special rules with them. First off, with the cavalry, the Confederate cavalry here are all under their own command. They get 3 activations here, and the same is true for the Ashby's artillery here. But they can be assigned to a particular division. Same thing with this particular cavalry unit right there. Can be assigned to a different unit. They got 3 activations. They can change their orders in the divisional order phase and activate just like they had a commander. Union cavalry is a little bit different. Again, they're independent. They can activate separately via 2 activation chits that are in the cup. They don't have a leader unless they're attached to a particular brigade. And because of that, they can't change their orders in the divisional phase. And that's pretty critical because they can only change their orders to something else in the brigade activation, and they must roll for that. So they've got to do it individually too. So whereas Ashby can change that, or they can use brigade orders. Most likely the division will handle it over there. Also for the artillery for the Union is handled, it's going to be handled by a divisional level artillery chief. That is this guy right here, Diam. He is the artillery chief for Kimball. It's actually Shields division over there. He's going to be the artillery chief. He's going to control all the artillery. Now, what is that made up of? It's made up of this artillery right here. It's also made up of these 2 artillery units back here. So they will be under control of him. They get 3 activations per turn. And the Confederates have the same thing. They have 3 activations for their artillery, but they can also be attached to individual brigades there as well. So I just wanted to make a note of those 2 pieces there. Now, what happened for the 11 o'clock turn? Well, not a whole bunch of excitement. We just had Ashby on the board. We don't have Jackson in here yet, so there's no fighting. The goal is to try to make the Union move or activate the infantry. Cavalry can freely activate, but infantry cannot. Artillery can fire as well and do their thing, but the infantry is pretty much locked in there unless they want to give up a victory point for this. And the Union didn't want to do that, so they did not move any infantry this particular turn, and they actually earned a victory point. So the score right now is actually 1-0 for the Union because they earned that victory point. I didn't think I was going to get any movement with these cavalry. These cavalry, fairly light cavalry here. 3 strength points here, 3 strength points here, 2 strength points over there. They're not really a huge threat to the infantry at the moment. And really just kind of positioning and trying to keep gaps open in the line. So they're threatening over here a little bit. We may have Jackson come across here because I'm thinking from Jackson's perspective, he wants to isolate units and try to destroy them, and then that will hopefully force Kimball to actually want to activate some units and get into battle. So we're going to try to force that. We're going to look for isolated ones. We've got both of our flanks, fairly good maneuvering room here on our flanks. Let me just show you. If I go to Confederate right, I have all this space over here, although it's a little tricky maneuvering down through here with woods and a little bit of steeper terrain. But then on the other side, where historically the battle was fought, and excuse the glare of my quite shiny light over there. I'll move that back a little bit so you can see. Over here, there's quite a bit more room. Now, of course, we do have some woods over here that's blocking, but that could be good cover. And there's a couple good avenues here, and there's another one just slightly off camera, the south, going through Barton's Woods. That would be good avenues to circle around over here. But the thing that's tricky with circling around here to the Confederate left, they're going to have to come up, face these batteries. Also, the Union is probably going to redeploy Sullivan, if not all of their forward units over here, back towards this. Plus, they have the artillery here. And the other thing that's kind of a little bit of a kicker for Confederates is the reinforcements. The Union reinforcements are all tied towards the left, or excuse me, the Union right center positions for their entry. So they're coming in. Let me tip that up a little bit. They're coming in here along the Valley Pike, or here, or here. They can come in on one of those three. Haven't decided yet. Going to kind of wait until see how the battle shapes up. So if Jackson comes over on this side, over in here, he's going to come smack into the reinforcements, and then over here. So that might not be a good stretch. Again, the victory points are basically going to be BCE units, artillery units lost, cavalry units lost, and then, of course, activations, forcing the Union to activate. So it's going to be a little bit tricky. It's going to be kind of a wait and see type of approach on a lot of this action. Now, Jackson is going to come up the Valley Pike right through here to at least start. Whether he engages directly in front of us, it's going to be another story. We're going to have to see how that goes. But they may try to come over here at least and try to push to the immediate center left, Confederate left, over here, as there's a little bit of an overflank. That's why First Maryland moved up over here, and also, if you saw, there's the First West Virginia that moved up over here as kind of scouting units to kind of protect that flank over there. But with Jackson's force, he's got a sizable force that if he puts it onto a specific weak point, it can cause some problems for the Union. The Union is going to have to play a little bit of catch up here with this because they are kind of strung out here in front. Because they've got a strong position up here on Pritchard's Hill. And then we've got Sullivan back here, which also you may notice, and let me point this out, that Sullivan back here has a little bit of an issue. And let me kind of focus this in a little bit so you can see, and then shift this over here a little bit so that you can see over here. Now he is, again, sorry for the glare of the lights, tip that up a little bit, and you can see several of his units, the 13th Indiana, the 67th Ohio, and the Illinois unit here, 39th Illinois. They're all in reserve, but they also, because they have a fatigue of 2 in part of the special rules, they start with fatigue 2 because they were on patrol, or not patrol, but picket duty all night. So they're fatigued, they need rest. So I've immediately placed Sullivan in reserve. Now these 2 units can go in reserve. Unfortunately, this unit is out of command. Counting this off, Sullivan only has 4 command radius of 4 movement points. Got 1, 2, 3, but then they are in a stone wall, which makes that 4, 5. If we go this way, we've got 2, 3, 4, 5. So they are technically out of command. So to get them in command is going to need to actually activate them to move. So I'm not going to activate them yet. These guys are in reserve. They just went into reserve, so it's going to take one more turn for them to get rid of a couple points of fatigue, and then the next turn they can come out of reserve, and they'll be in a better state to do some fighting there. So a little bit of decisions there on the Union side, figure out what they're going to do there for the defense. Reinforcements potentially come in at 3 p.m. That's going to be 4 turns away. We're up to the 12 p.m. turn, so we've got 4 turns here to figure out what's going to happen and see if Jackson actually pushes, finds a weak spot, gets some victory points before the reinforcements are committed, and go from there. So, First Battle of Kernstown. We are all in for it. Hopefully you're enjoying this, and stay tuned for the 12 p.m. turn next. Please like, subscribe, and comment. Always enjoy the comments and everything about your viewing. So thanks for watching.